Guys, so today we're gonna make Dominican eggplant pie. In my pan, I added 2 tablespoons avocado oil, and I'm also add 1 tablespoon of white onions, red and yellow bell peppers, as well as tomatoes. We're cooking this at medium-high heat. We're just gonna let the vegetables cook for about 5 minutes. And now we're gonna add 2 pounds of ground beef. If you do not like ground beef, you can add ground turkey or ground chicken as well. Let's break this up. We're gonna let this cook for about 10 minutes. After the 10 minutes, as you can see, my ground beef is still cooking and needs some time to cook, but not right now. We're just gonna season our meat with 2 tablespoons of teriyaki sauce, just adds flavor, a teaspoon of cumin powder, a tablespoon of garlic powder, a pinch of ground black pepper, or half a teaspoon of that, as well as half a tablespoon of salt or to taste. Remember, you can adjust the taste to your liking. You can let the ground beef cook and then you can taste it to see if it needs more salt or more pepper. We're gonna mix this very well. And now I'm gonna add half a cup of tomato sauce. Also a little bit of water. We're gonna mix again. And we're gonna cover this up and let this cook for 20 minutes on medium heat. After the 20 minutes, my ground beef is done, super delicious. We're gonna turn off the stove and set this aside. And now we're gonna continue with our eggplant. So over here, I have about 4 medium-sized eggplant. I washed them and now I'm gonna peel them and I'm gonna cut them. And over here, I have in one bowl, I have 4 eggs lightly beaten with salt, pepper, and garlic powder. I also have in my other bowl seasoned panko crumbs. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna add one by one my eggplant into the egg batter and then into the panko. And now in my pan, I added enough oil to fry the eggplant. We're gonna be frying the eggplant. I'm frying it 2 by 2s or in 2s just because my pan is not that big. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna fry this up is medium-high heat. And we're gonna fry them for about 2 to 3 minutes on each side or until they're obviously nice and golden. And then we're gonna flip them over to the next side, as you can see how good. I like to poke some holes in it just so it can cook through. Since the eggplant usually cooks or fries pretty quickly. Now we're going to remove it from the oil and we're going to place it on top of a plate with paper towel so the oil can be absorbed. We're going to continue the steps until all my eggplants are fried, as you can see. Set this aside and now let's continue with our bechamel sauce or white sauce. In my pot at medium heat, I added about half a cup of butter. We're going to let the butter melt. And once it melts, we're going to add 1 cup of all-purpose flour to make our roux. And so the sauce can thicken up. We're gonna mix and mix. We want to cook the flour, so we're gonna cook this for about 2 to 3 minutes. The most, that way our sauce doesn't taste like flour. Once you see that the flour and it has a little bit of color, we're ready to add our milk. And I'm adding about 4 cups of room temperature milk. You can also regular milk. You can also add half and half if you like, or evaporated milk. I'm gonna whisk, whisk, whisk until all those crumbs disappears. And now we're gonna season with ground black pepper, just a pinch of that, garlic powder, about 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, as well as salt. And I'm adding about 2 to 3 teaspoons of salt. I'm gonna add a pinch of cinnamon powder. If you have nutmeg, you can add nutmeg as well. We're gonna whisk and then I'm gonna add dry parsley. And basically that's it. We're just gonna continue to whisk until our sauce starts to thicken. And right here, nice and thick, perfect. We're gonna set this aside, turn off the stove. In my baking dish, I'm gonna add a little bit of the sauce that we just made. And then we're gonna add our eggplant. We're gonna add more sauce on the top. I'm gonna spread it around, and then we're gonna add some of the ground beef. So good, guys. And after that, we're gonna add mozzarella. Some mozzarella cheese on top, and we're gonna continue with the same steps. And now we're ready to bake this in the oven at 350 degrees for about 20 minutes. And after 20 minutes, we have a delicious eggplant pie. Super good, perfect for the holidays. I hope you guys enjoy the recipe, and I'll see you next time.